Hey, it is Friday, newsletter time. That was kind of loud, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry. It's raining outside, so if you hear a little pitter patter on the roof, we've got rain going on in Arizona right now. In fact, they said we might have snow. Anyway, so let's get into today's newsletter. This is going to be kind of it's a question, but I'm going to turn it into kind of a demo because it was kind of unique, the question. So let me read the question to you real quick. This is from Mark Stallings. When doing inset letters like you did previously with the profile bit, I noticed that when you made the second pass, you left a fine line in the middle to remove with a 90-degree bit. I catch myself when there is a thin line, I take it out with the profile bit. Then I get aggravated at myself because I wanted a textured look. Is there any way to do it to fix that mistake and make it still have a textured look? He said, I usually end up just taking a straight bit and changing it to a flat bottom. So I answered Mark on it. So for those of you that are new, my small inset letters, these are 1-inch letters. They normally look like this because I do them with a 60-degree V-groove. Gosh darn it, I was going to have that ready. Let me grab a 60-degree real quick here. That's a 60-degree V-groove. That's the one that normally does my inset letters. Almost all my inset letters. I'm scrambling here. Anyway, but the alternative is to do it with the profile bit. That's the way, previously I said that's the way Dad always really liked the inset letters, is done with the profile bit. So I've got a profile bit. Also, I've got another kind of part to this, but I'm going to do layout on these little 1-inch, 1.5-inch, and 2-inch letters. So I'm going to carve these real quick. I'm not going to bother drawing lines, which I normally do, but this is just for demonstration purposes. So that's my layout there. Hopefully that won't take too long to dry. I'll get my my brush. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to carve these with, ta-da, a little Ridgid, the Ridgid palm router. It's got our base plate on it. And I'm going to kind of talk about it a little bit in comparison to my normal DWP 611. And I carved with it yesterday and did a little bit this morning with it. And it takes some getting used to. I'm not sure I like it as well as the DWP, but I'm just going to go ahead and use it. I've had it for a little while, but we just haven't taken the time to give it a review. So this is, I guess this is kind of a review, but more than anything else, it's it's a demo, but at the same time, I'm going to do kind of a review. So I'm just going to wipe off some residue here. That should be dry enough. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to carve these, all three of these, with the profile bit. Now the one thing on this DWP, on this little Ridgid, I can't say I'm really crazy about the screw thing here. One thing I definitely do not like is it's got a little retainer here that doesn't allow you to pop the base all the way off, whereas on my DeWalt I take it off all the time. Changing bits is way more cumbersome for me so far on this than it is the DWP. I can change bits in a heartbeat on that thing, but it could be that I'm just not quite used to it yet. So I'm going to give it a fair try before I decide to really put the nicks on it if I don't like it. So anyway, this is, by the way, this little Ridgid is 5.5 amp, where the DeWalt DWP 611 is 7 amp. So that's kind of a, there's pros and cons. That's kind of a con for me. I like this 7 amp. It's got a little bit more power, but so far it's cutting pretty well. So let's just get these cut and then we'll move on. I do like the switch. I really like the switch. I left my paper up here and I didn't bring my rubber pad. Where's my rubber pad? There's my rubber pad. It appeared out of nowhere. It's like I have a genie in here or something. So you can tell, I don't know, I can tell when that Ridgid is running, when I'm coming down and making this cut especially, you could tell, or I could, that it was kind of putting a strain on the router itself, that it didn't quite have the torque that the DeWalt has. So that might be a little bit of a con, although you know, that doesn't hurt anything. It just, I would rather have a little bit more power. I think that amp and a half makes a difference. Okay, so here's what now we're getting into the meat of what the question was all about. So say for instance on this one really is not even applicable because it's all gone anyway. But on these two there's a little bit left on here. There's a little bit in there. Clean that out. And in here there's quite a bit. So I'm going to take this out with the profile bit like Mark Stallings, right? Like Mark was talking about. So now on this R, you can see I kind of went back and took out a little bit more. If you get to the point like on this one where there's really nothing in there and there's not really the texture look that you want, I'm going to go ahead and take this all out with the profile bit like Mark was talking about on his question. So let's say you're at that point and you're thinking, oh man, I wish I hadn't taken that out. We're at 10 minutes? Wow. I wish I hadn't taken that out, that I wanted more texture in there. Here's what I told him. I'm going to go deeper. I'm going to go deeper, and then that gives you more wood to play with. So I'm not going to bother sanding that off or anything, but you can see now, and I don't even know how deep I am. I'll get my router template, or my little depth gauge out and tell you how deep I am with that router bit, but I think I'm over a quarter. Yeah, I'm quite a bit over a quarter. But, you know, there's plenty of material there. The bit will actually do it. You're not cutting a whole lot more material, but now you've got some texture back in there. So that's how I answered Mark, is literally just go deeper. You got more material, go deeper, and then you can get that textured look you want. Or you can leave it the way it is, however you want to do it. All right, so second part of the demo. We have a new little layout template that I've been playing with, and it's really cool. It is a beer mug. Check that out. So I am going to cut that real quick, even though we'll probably be over time. I'm going to keep playing with this this Ridgid router. I may get used to it yet. It could be that I'm just not... that
you're spoiled?
Huh?
That you're spoiled?
That I'm spoiled. I love the DWP. Here's another pro. While that's drying, here's another pro and con. The size of the Ridgid, it just... Again, like I say, I like that little switch on top. It's kind of cool. I like it better than the DeWalt switch. But you can see the diameter of the motor, the size of the cap.
We just see the light hole.
Oh, you can just see that it's the Ridgid is, I don't want to call it a toy because it's not. It's a router, and it cuts. It's just not a DeWalt for me. It's just not quite big enough. If this was the same size as this, I think this may even be, I might like it better, but the DeWalt is still it for me. The DWP 611 is still it. However, that's much more expensive. That's probably about 30 bucks more than this. I think those go about 130, and I think this one's about 100 bucks. So this will definitely do it. Just doesn't, it's just not quite the DeWalt in my mind. It's not quite what I like, but I'm going to keep playing with it. All right, so I'm going to do this beer mug real quick. Or part of it. We're at 13 minutes. God darn. I just talk too much. Got too much going on here. That's too deep. Yeah, this and the depth thing. I haven't quite got used to that yet either. God darn, I keep going the wrong way. That's better. Yeah, it's not quite dry, but we'll give it a shot. So that's how quick that is. And it really cuts nice. So basically you're just cutting the lines that are there. And here is what it looks like. I actually added a little color. That's what it looks like when it's all sprayed with the black and sanded off. It's a fast carve. I really like it. The color that I used on there, I know it's not really a beer color, it's more of a urine color, sorry. but it's the little painter pins. I just threw that on there just to give it some color. But it's really a neat little deal. They're on the website, you know, like all of our other templates. They're on the website, right, babe? So it's $3.50. If you want some, you want one, ask us, write Vicky, write me, whatever. But they're on the makeawithsign.com website right now. Whew, that was quick. All right, we are done. We're almost on time budget. So thanks everybody. Oh, a huge thank you to everybody that wished Dad a happy birthday on the Facebook. It was like, gosh, gobs of people. Oh, we're running way over time. So thank you. Dad never gets on Facebook, but I told him about it, and he went on and looked at a bunch of your comments. So thanks, guys. We really appreciate it. So hope this was helpful to you. Have any questions, like always, email me, let me know. Keep sending me questions. Keep sending me pictures. We want to do another big, huge group of sign carvers of the day. So keep sending me stuff. Hope you guys are doing well. Have a great weekend, and I guess that's it, huh?
See you Monday.
See you on Monday morning. Bye-bye.